Foreman, have the verdicts been placed in this envelope and have they been in your presence ever since? Yes. Mr. Foreman, on docket number 2282CR117001, murder in the second degree, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you?
Charlie.
No. Do you agree?
Yes.
Do all of you agree?
Yes.
Thank you. 002, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty?
Not guilty.
Of?
Is not guilty or guilty of that charge or any lesser included charge?
Lesser included.
Thank you. Specifically number 5, operating under the influence of liquor by operating a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. Correct?
Yes.
So say you, Mr. Foreman?
Guilty.
So say you all?
Yes.
003, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar leaving the scene after accident resulting in death? Is the defendant not guilty or guilty? So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you all?
Yes.
Jurors, hearken your verdict as the court records it. You, upon your oath, say the defendant on 001 is not guilty, on 002 is guilty of operating under the influence of liquor, and 003 not guilty. Thank you.
All right, jurors, everybody please be seated. Jurors, we thank you for your service. We're going to send you back to services complete. I'd like to be back and talk to you a little bit afterwards. So thank you very much.
All rise. Your quality.
Defendant Karen Reed has been acquitted in the murder of her boyfriend, John O'Keefe. Karen Reed has been acquitted in the murder of her boyfriend, John O'Keefe. However, this jury found that she is responsible, that she is guilty for one of the lesser included offenses, and that offense is operating a motor vehicle under the influence of liquor. Let's listen in again.
Found not guilty will be sealed by the Commissioner of Probation by the court unless you notify the Commissioner of Probation in writing within 10 days that you do not want these records sealed. To request that these records not be sealed, you may use the Request Not to Seal form, which is posted on the trial court's website on mass.gov. I cannot accept the form here in court. You must submit it to the Commissioner of Probation at the address provided on the form. Please be aware that if the records regarding the charges which you have been found not guilty are sealed, you will be unable to access the sealed record of the not guilty dispositions or any other records regarding those charges. If you want copies of any documents regarding those charges before the records are sealed, you should request copies from the court within 10 days. Do you understand? Thank you.
All right, so we need a date for sentencing. Can we do it next week?
Okay, we would be prepared to go forward today.
Okay. Okay.
All right, they just said they're looking to set a date for sentencing. Prosecution says they are prepared to move forward today. I think the most startling part after we heard the verdict was the volume of the cheers that you could hear right
you could hear
inside
it very clearly.
The courtroom.
Very clearly, you could hear those cheers. And sentencing, as you mentioned, JC, would be the next step. It probably will happen today. We know from our own research that the offense could be punished up to 2.5 years, but that is very rare for a first offense. Probation is more likely for a first offense, so we'll have to see what the sentencing is ultimately. Looks like there are some things getting worked out inside the courtroom. Let's listen in again.
So the standard that everybody else gets on a first-time OUI?
Certainly.
Okay.
We ask that you be treated no differently, no better.
So I'm happy to do it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all.
1 year probation on docket number 002, the lesser included offense of operating under the influence. 1 year probation. Thank you. The 24D program. Thank you.
All right.
Goodbye.
That's it. You heard she's getting what a typical first-time offender would get for OUI, which she is getting 1 year probation. We don't know if there will be a fine that's the paperwork that has been done. But we can point out here the prosecution didn't fight for more. Judge Canoni had some latitude there. She could have given her up to 2.5 years in prison. It's uncommon, especially for a first time, but that the prosecution could have asked for that, and they didn't. The fine is anywhere from $500 to $5,000, and then there's usually alcohol education programs that go along with it. But as you can see, this is a win for the defense team, in that there you see Karen crying and she's hugging her friends and her family. We saw tears in Yanetti's eyes, one of the defense attorneys. We saw defense attorney Jackson hugging the attorney Little, who is there. This is 3.5 years of emotion that is just starting to, I would assume, start to leave their bodies within the courtroom, and then outside the courtroom. Again, the cheers that came down. What we'll look to Sue O'Connell for later is, if you notice, the side where John O'Keefe's family sits, the side where his supporters sit, is empty. And so how they reacted to this, we do not know. But there you can see live pictures of, there you see Mr. and Mrs. O'Keefe and Karen standing right in front of them in that light blue suit. And she is allowed to leave. She is a free woman. She is on probation.